got this little round plaque from Walmart for $1, and I used my Waverly chalk paint in the color Plaster and painted that entire thing 2 coats, front, back, and sides. This little stand came from Dollar Tree. I just removed the little pins from it and then used the same plaster color and painted the top circle part on the stand. I did it front and back, and that also took 2 coats. Next, I took the Home Decor chalk paint in the color Java and painted the bottom half of the stand. And that I also did 2 coats, and I just used a really small paintbrush when I got towards the top just to get real close to that white paint without getting it on there. Once those were both dry, I just gave them a quick sanding. I just wanted them to look a little bit more rustic. And then next I took this really adorable napkin I found on Amazon and just cut out one of the little squares on it, enough to fit the front of the plaque, and then removed the extra layer. And then I took Mod Podge and applied that to the front part only of the sign and just spread that out nice and even, and then used my heating tool to dry it completely. And then once that was completely dry, I took the napkin and placed it right on top of that dried Mod Podge, just making sure it was nice and lined up before I moved on, and then just smoothed it out. Put on some parchment paper and used my travel iron and just ironed that on to reactivate the Mod Podge and seal that napkin on there. And then after that was attached, I just used a sanding block and sanded off any excess napkin around the entire front. And to seal the napkin on there, I used another layer of Mod Podge on the front of it and just did a nice even layer covering the entire front. And again, used my heating tool to dry that. Next, I used my hot glue and hot glued some of the Spanish moss to the very bottom of that little stand. Now, this Spanish moss I get from Amazon. Dollar Tree does sometimes sell it. I just haven't been able to find any. And after the bottom was completely covered, I just trimmed up a bunch of the excess on there that was hanging over. And then I took a couple of these little pieces of lavender off of a pick from Dollar Tree and just cut tiny little pieces and hot glued them on top of the moss. And then I took this lace ribbon also from Dollar Tree and just made a tiny little bow and cut off the ends kind of at an angle. And then just attach that with some hot glue right on the top, off to the side a little bit. And the last thing I had to do was attach the little plaque to my stand. So I just put some hot glue all around the circle and placed the plaque right on there. Just kind of put it further towards the bottom of the stand just so it wasn't too top heavy and didn't tip over. And that is it. I think it turned out super pretty. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video.